Hello YouTube and welcome to the channel. Now then, today's video we're going to be looking at this. It's the Bonzai RC Intrepid 1/14 scale Truggy. Now this has very kindly been supplied to the channel by Bonzai RC, so great big thumbs up to them, thank you very much. Before we crack the box open, let's have a quick look at the box. It says 1/14 scale, it's an off-road Truggy buggy. Four-wheel drive, got a 390 brushed motor I believe, ready to run apart from the batteries for the controller, 2.4 gig, and it says it does 35 plus kilometers an hour. Now we'll put that to the test. Now I can't quote you a price at the moment because Bonzai RC are having a bit of a rejig of all their prices, so if I did quote you a price, by the time this video came out it would probably be wrong. So what I'll do, as soon as I know, I will add a price in dollars and pounds to the bottom of the screen here. Anyway, enough waffle from me, let's crack the box open and let's see what the Intrepid is like. Right then, in the box we've got some instructions, a battery charger, probably a parts manual, there's a little wheel wrench stroke wheel spanner there, we've got some stickers for the bodywork. Now they have also sent me some optional oil dampers, shocks, but we're not going to put those on in this video, we're going to save those for another video because I want to test the truck as it comes from the factory. We've got one transmitter. Now I do like these transmitters because they remind me of a WL Toys one and they feel very similar, they just haven't got that hoop there, but they do feel quite nice in the hand, so I do like these transmitters. And we've got the buggy Truggy itself. Now then, I'll be honest with you, they feel pretty good shocks if they're not oil filled. They're not particularly bouncy. So whether or not they are oil shocks of some description, I don't honestly know. Anyway, I think the battery's underneath. We'll crack the top off and have a look. Right then, underneath we get our spare battery here, and I think it's got a little, oh yes, a little hinged clasp there so we can remove it, if he says. Get out of it.
5 hours later.
Right then, it's got a little 850 milliamp hour lithium ion 7.4 volt 2S battery in it. It looks like a Tamiya style connectorite. I mean I don't mind these, but I always end up cutting them off and putting the Deans on or something. Now we've also got in the battery tray, the battery tray is actually massive, and we've also got this bit of foam in here, but I'm wondering if like a 2200 milliamp hour LiPo will fit in there. So I thought I'd sneakily snuck one out the battery thing. Oh, perhaps not. Will it fit in there?
1 week later.
Perhaps not. It is very close though. I wonder if a little 1600 milliamp. Oh yes, look at that. So there you go. You can put a little 1600 milliamp hour LiPo in it. I wonder if my 3000 milliamp hour Eachine batteries will go in. Oh crikey, look at that. Look at that. Oh yes, so you can fit a 3000 milliamp hour Eachine battery in it. Oh, that's good to know. Right then, what else have we got underneath here? Well, we've got our 390 brushed motor there. We've got a 35 amp ESC stroke receiver. Interestingly, it's got a port here so you can put a 3-wire servo in, like all the other Bonzai RC receivers. This one is standard as a 5-wire 3.5 kilo servo, which is enormous for the size of the buggy. I must admit it's got a great big servo considering it's only 1/14 scale. The tyres seem quite soft and compliant, no foams in them though. We've got some metal bits and pieces I can see here in the transmission. Let's have a look. The drive shafts look as though they're metal. The inner cups on the diffs are metal as well. It looks like we've got some metal steering arms here. They may be adjustable, they may not be. I'm not 100% sure at the moment. It's a similar sort of story on the rear. Metal cups inboard on the diffs, metal drive shafts, and it looks like actually metal cups on the wheels. Now then, looking at the wheels, we don't actually have bearings. We've got bronze bushes here, these funny little bushes. I'm pretty sure I mean it looks a decent quality thing this as I'm just looking over it, but I would have liked to have seen proper bearings in there, but I dare say you can get them. Anyway, what I might do is, like we usually do on the channel, have a little bit of a tear down, see what the transmission is like underneath these covers, and take it from there. Right, I can actually confirm, now I've got the cap off, that there are some seals in this and some oil. So from the factory on the Intrepid you do actually get oil filled dampers, so I can only presume they've sent me these trick ones just to try. So we've got oil filled dampers. Transmission wise, we've definitely got metal dog bones at the front and the rear. On the back of the differential, the little bevel gear there, that's metal, as is the drive cup, and it sits in a bearing. The power is transmitted to the front diff via a great big dog bone, which is also metal. Now the differential itself has got a plastic ring gear. It's fully ball race with metal cups. What I might do is quickly undo that, see if we've got metal gears inside, but I must admit this is super smooth, but it does feel like plastic. Right, I stand corrected, all the gears in the diffs are in fact metal. They're very well packed with grease as well, which is always nice to see. There's a little gasket on the end, which is always nice to see because it keeps some of the crap out. The only plastic gear so far in the transmission is in fact this ring gear on the diff. Also, the diffs are fully supported by ball races, which again is really nice to see. Now, one thing I've noticed about this, when I've been tearing it apart, is it actually seems quite good quality. All the componentry, especially the plastic bits and pieces, fit really nice. And all the pins are either star-cross, I don't know if you can see the head there, or either star-cross or Allen-headed bolts, which, to be on some of these little buggies and things, you don't often see that. Right, I'm not going to open the rear diff up because it's probably a very similar story to the front. But transmission wise, we've got a plastic reduction gear on the main central shaft there, and we've got a metal pinion on the end of the motor. Now, the shaft itself is, like I said before, it's metal, supported by ball races, which is always nice to see. And the steering is actually supported by little brass bushings there, which again is a nice touch. Right, first impressions of the Intrepid. I am genuinely quite impressed. It came apart dead easy, went back together like a dream. Everything fits well. It all seems as though it's decent quality. I mean, there are a few areas for improvement. I mean, I would have liked to see ball bearings in the wheels, but never mind. But apart from that, it does seem a nicely screwed together solid piece of kit. Anyway, enough waffle. What I'll do is I'll get the stickers on the bodywork, we will charge the battery, and we'll take this thing for a blast. Right, battery's charged and the stickers are on the shell. Now, before I get it all scratched up, I just thought we'd have a quick look at the body, and you know what, I think this looks absolutely fantastic. The black and lime green looks absolutely great on this. Anyway, let's go try him. Right then, we're outside with stock battery, 35 kilometres to beat, and that is approximately 22 miles an hour. So what do you reckon? I reckon this thing will do, I reckon it won't go anywhere near 22, I reckon it's more like 15, 16 mile an hour. Right then, on the stock lithium-ion 2S battery, we've got 18.9 miles an hour. That's not bad actually, I'm going to call that 19. So that's not actually that bad, that's quite close to its stated top speed on the box. Let's stick a LiPo in and see what it does. Right, I've got a little bit of a confession to make. I have actually stuck some Dean's connectors on this just to allow me initially, while I'm speed testing the truck, to chuck a LiPo on it basically. I wasn't going to, I was going to test it with the, I like to test things standard, but I've literally altered it just to allow me to fit a LiPo. And kudos to Bonzai RC, 22 miles an hour on the box. The thing actually does 21.4 with a LiPo in it. That's the closest I think I've ever got to a stated speed on the box. So well done Bonzai RC. Okay then, back inside. Now I'm going to quickly apologise for my voice. Unfortunately, halfway through filming the review video for this, I ended up contracting COVID. So I've not been very well, but thankfully on the mend. But that's why I sound the way I do. So if I start coughing uncontrollably halfway through the video, you know what the score is. Anyway, what did we think of the Bonzai RC Intrepid here? Let's go for the traditional good and bad points, shall we? Now, the first bad point is the scale. It says 1/14th scale on the box. I actually think this is probably nearer to 1/16th, you know. The only thing I've got to back this up is we've got a gantry here, which is sold as a 1/16th scale sort of buggy basher, if you like, and as far as I can tell the wheelbase on this is identical to the Bonzai, so I'm not 100% convinced that this is 1/14th scale. And that sort of brings me to the next bad point, although it's not really a bad point, but it could be a sticking point if you're after purchasing this vehicle, and that is the price. 95 quid or $115. With it being, I think, close to 1/16th scale personally, it does put it smack bang in the middle of sort of HBX 16889 territory, especially at that price. You're sort of looking at the Pro version as well, and the Pro version is a superb little piece of kit. So that's not necessarily a bad point, but it could be a consideration if you're thinking of buying this. And the next bad point on my list is again sort of to do with the price. For 95 quid, $115, I would have liked to have seen proper ball races on the wheel bearings instead of the bushes. I mean, these bushes do have an awful lot of play in them from stock. Obviously, if you put some ball bearings in there, you'll probably find they'd be a lot better. But I would have liked to have seen proper ball bearings in the wheels for that sort of money. Right then, I can't really think of anything else I don't like about it. Let's have some good points. First good point, I love the looks of this thing. I love the fact that the bodywork is this wonderful black and sort of lime green, and apart from when I got it covered in white dust, all the other bits are black. It does look quite mean and moody. Love the looks. The second thing that impressed me was the fact that this almost does the stated top speed that's printed on the box. Most of the time when I test these little buggies, they'll do half of what the manufacturer says. But I know we used a LiPo in the second couple of runs, but even on the little lithium-ion battery, it's still got within a couple of miles an hour. So I'm going to, big thumbs up to Bonzai for that this thing actually does its stated top speed. And that brings me on to another good point with regards to the battery. I didn't think this 850 milliamp hour lithium ion unit was going to last very long, but in fact it lasted about 10-15 minutes, so I was quite impressed with that. Normally you're lucky if you get like 5 minutes out of these little batteries, but this one, the battery life on the standard battery wasn't too bad at all. The next good point I've got written down on my list is the fact that you can get full spares backup for these. I know this because I've just bought some spares for my Z Road off Bonzai, and they turned up in a couple of weeks, and they've got all the spares and bits and pieces listed for this. So spares backup wise, you won't have any issues. Another good point is the quality of this thing. I am impressed with the quality. It does seem a really well screwed together little RC, and you can actually see where, I know it's a little bit more expensive than a lot of the brushed 1/16th scale buggies out there, but you can sort of see where your money has gone. I know I complained about the no ball races on the wheels, but looking at the rest of the chassis and the bits and pieces, you can sort of see where your 95 quid is going. So quality wise, big thumbs up. Right then, conclusion time. Would I recommend Bonzai RC's Intrepid to anyone? And on the balance of things, I'm going to say yes, I would. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this little RC. I know that at this price point it's in with the big boys, but it really didn't put a foot wrong. I like the way it's screwed together, and I think if you bought one, honestly, I don't think you'd be disappointed. It's a good all-round little 1/14th scale Truggy. As ever, if you want one of these little RCs, there will be some links in the description to where you can get them from. There will be an up and coming video shortly as well, where we fit the oil shocks to see what the accessory oil shocks are like on it. If you found this video of some use and interest, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're feeling that way inclined, hit that subscribe button at the bottom. It really does make a massive difference to the channel. Once again, guys, thank you for watching, and hope to see you again very, very soon. Thank you.